Hey guys, today I want to take a little bit of time and give you my thoughts and insight into this really cool little knife by TKEL. This is the TKL DP-1. I think it's probably the smallest knife TKL has made to date. We'll look at a little few size comparisons here in a second. But the first thing you'll notice on there is a signature. This is a special little build and a special little knife. It is got a lot of the things that TKL is known for. Fantastic G10 barked out scales, the really unique fasteners. This one's 80 CRV with the nitride boron coating. Cryogenically heat treated, done very, very well. I think you can also get this knife in Nitro V, but it's special. It's a little knife for a reason, because it's a get it done kind of knife. The name that's etched on the blade is Donald Pace, and Donald Pace is Tim Kell's father-in-law. Actually, his daughter is Tim's wife, Suzanne. So Tim actually talked to Donald before he proposed to Suzanne, and it's just, very godly man, hardworking man, and he wanted a little knife that he could carry around, that he could use for his daily task and get things done. He was the kind of guy that got things done, right? And this was his favorite little knife. It was a tool that he carried and trusted pretty much every day. Tim personally ground the very first DP-1 that he carried. And then unfortunately, Donald's health has declined. He's had several ailments that have left him bedridden, but he's been checking on this project as Tim and them had developed this little knife. So it's not just a little knife for the sake of creating a little knife. It's a little knife that's got a very cool story and is also a very functional tool. What you'll notice is it's very thin stock, which is great, in my opinion, for an EDC knife. It's a 2-finger knife for me with hand jimping or jimping on the blade before you use any type of paracord to make a lanyard, which you could easily do. But for me, the 2 fingers locks it in. Would I want to break down a lot of cardboard with this? Probably not. But for opening packages, for making cuts into food packaging, for cutting any type of material, whether it's paper, into a package, food products, whatever I need to cut, this little knife is sharp, tall blade, and slicey. So TKLs have always been pretty slicey knives, but they're known more for poking them through car doors or sheetrock or whatever you need to breach. They're more poker stabbers. This has got a lot of that same flair, so to speak. You can tell that it's got a forward aggressive posture, if you will. Nice jimping. Really nice swedge on the top of this blade. Deep drop point. Flat ground, just beautifully done. CNC assisted. I don't know if you can see the lines in that blade, but they are very even bevels. Plunge grinds are perfectly even. Nice sharpening choil. Full tank construction, even though it is thin blade stock. Let's do a couple of quick size comparisons. Whip out the Benchmade bug out. It's about half the size of a Benchmade bug out. Let's look at it next to a couple of little fixed blades. This is the Tops Crowhawk. And this is a Jacob Creates Chickadee. So it's smaller than the Crowhawk, and it's smaller than the Chickadee. Let's look at it next to what was the smallest knife I was familiar with from TKL. That's the Piranha, a great little poker. Another TKL, the Adversary. So you can tell that the DP-1 is about a full inch smaller than this little guy here, which is the Piranha. Fabulous little tactical knife. And this Adversary is a pokey stabber, leave them leaking kind of knife. But let's get back to this little guy. So the DP-1 is going to be right under 4 3/4 inches, right between 4 1/2 and 4 3/4. So it's a little guy. The blade is going to be right at about 2 1/4 inches with a cutting edge of about 2 1/8. And this inside grip here is right over 1 3/4 inches. So your inside grip, where I can get an easy 2 fingers, a tight 3, is 1 3/4 inches. And then if you want to look at your outside grip, you're looking at 2 1/2. But where I think this knife's really kind of slick and where it shines, zero it out, 0.195 is the blade stock on that. So just to give you an idea, the Piranha is much, much thicker. If we were going to look at the Piranha, .1375. So it is a much thicker blade stock. Not going to be as slicey, plus it's a shorter grind, but it's going to be more pokey, right? And I can get a little bit more fingers on the grip. However, I love this little knife. I love carrying it in my back pocket. I put an ulti clip on it because that's how I like to carry it. It's very light, doesn't take up a lot of space, never gets hung on anything, and really is just a great little carry. So 3.2 ounces with an ulti clip in its sheath. Its naked weight is 1.9 ounces. And that was about a 2 1/4 inch blade, a little bit higher. Great sheath, great retention, like all of Tim's knives, all TKL knives. The sheaths are done very, very well. I put the ulti clip right a little deep, but I've still got no problem getting that out of the sheath. And the retention is second to none. Absolutely no rattle there. Just a fantastic little piece. And it's a knife with purpose, right? Not only was he a hard-working, God-fearing man who carried a knife every day, just because he can't carry it every day, I think it's great that they're keeping the spirit of this knife alive while he, spends his final days. Being able to kind of appreciate it from the sidelines. But I think it's a cool little knife. I think these are available now in 80 CRV2. They were launched at Texas Blade Show. I do not think they're currently available in Nitro V, but I'll leave a link to the website. You guys can check it out. I think it's a banger of a little knife. I'm super excited they made it. And this is the TKL DP-1. Guys, do me a favor. First of all, thank you to all the channel members. And guys, thank you for anybody who comes in to watch my knife and EDC content. I appreciate it. Most importantly, please look out for the guy or gal to your left. Look out for the guy or gal to your right. Hit the like button. Look out for one another. Go forward with love in your heart. If you're so inclined, hit that subscribe button. But most importantly, choose debate, not hate. I love you all. Peace.